Welcome to our ordinary meeting of council this evening. I'd like to open the meeting right on 6 o'clock. I welcome our member of the gallery and I welcome all of you as well, councillors and staff. And I advise that it is council policy to record the proceedings of the meeting on digital media to assist in the preparation of minutes and to ensure that a true and accurate account of debate and discussion of meetings is available. This is an audio recording and is authorised by the Local Government Meeting Procedures Regulations 2025. I'll begin by acknowledging country. I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners and custodians of the land on which we meet today, the Tomagina people, and to pay our respect to those that have passed before us, their history and their culture. Item 1, record of attendance. We have 2 apologies this evening, Councillor Michael Johnson and Councillor Celisa Edwards. Excuse me, there has been no leave of absence previously approved. Item 2, confirmation of minutes of the previous meeting. There is a recommendation before you, councillors, that the minutes of the ordinary meeting of Waratah Wynyard Council held at Council Chambers 21 Saunders Street, Wynyard, on Monday the 20th of October 2025, a copy of which has been previously circulated to councillors prior to the meeting, be confirmed as a true and correct record. Could I have a move of that motion, please? Councillor Roberts has moved. Could I have a seconder, please? Councillor Bramage. Are there any amendments, queries, comments that anyone wishes to make in relation to these minutes of the previous ordinary meeting? If not, I put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Carried unanimously. Item 3, declarations of interest. Are there any declarations of interest this evening? So, councillors, are there any agenda items that you need to declare against? And staff, are there any agenda items? If not, we'll move on to item 4. 4.1, announcements by the Mayor. I have not provided any announcements for this meeting. And 4.2, my communications. There is a recommendation, councillors, that you note the Mayor's communications. Could I have a mover for that? Councillor Bramage. Could I have a seconder, please? Councillor Hyland. Are there any queries?
You've been fairly busy by the look of it.
Well, thank you for that comment. Yes, I have been. Councillor
Just
Hyland.
a question on the Bill French one. Do you know if anyone from council got in touch with his daughter or not, and let her know the details?
I have no idea, but
maybe.
maybe.
Any problems if I do that?
No, I don't have a problem with that. If you would do that, thank you.
Don't know. Sorry.
Okay, so the communications are before you, and I've asked that you note those communications. Moved by Councillor Bramage, seconded by Councillor Hyland. Is there any more comment or questioning around this? If not, I put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Carried unanimously. 4.3, reports by delegates. None have been received. 4.4, notification of council workshops. There is a recommendation before you, councillors, that council notes the following workshops. There are 3 listed there. So could I have a mover for that motion, please? Councillor Roberts. Could I have a seconder, please? Councillor Raw. Are there any comments, questions, anything that needs to be brought up at this point? If not, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Carried unanimously. Item 5, public questions and statements. 5.1, we have no public questions taken on notice from the previous meeting. We haven't received any in writing. We have no public questions without notice. Public statements received in writing, we have not received any of those, and public statements without notice, we have not got any of those this evening. So I'll move on to item 6, which is the Planning Authority, and at 6:05 we are going into the Planning Authority. 6.1, public questions without notice relating to planning matters. We have not received any public statements relating to planning matters, and we have not received any of those either. 6.3, multiple dwellings, 4 new units and outbuilding stage development located at 36 Policia Street, Somerset, DA 132/2025. There is a recommendation before you, councillors, that approval be granted for the multiple dwellings and outbuilding stage development at 36 Policia Street, Somerset. And there are quite a few conditions that must be followed should this be approved this evening. Could I have a mover for that motion, please? Councillor Roberts. Could I have a seconder, please? Councillor Raw. Would you like to open the debate, please, Councillor Roberts?
Just that it does actually comply with the standard, and that it's really good to see some development in Somerset. Every house in Somerset or unit matters because it's such a beautiful place and there's only so much space to live in there. So it's good to see. So,
thank you. Are there any speakers against this motion? Are there any further speakers to this motion? If not, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Carried unanimously. Item 6.4, dwelling and water tanks by 2 located at 305 Port Road, Boat Harbour Beach, DA 134/2025. There is a recommendation before you, councillors, that this development be granted approval for the dwelling and the water tanks at 305 Port Road, Boat Harbour Beach, subject to the conditions that are listed there. Could I have a mover, please, for that motion? Councillor Hyland. Could I have a seconder, please? Councillor Roberts. Councillor Hyland, would you like to open the debate on this motion?
Yeah, thanks, Madam Chair. Not a great lot, but obviously the same sort of things keep bobbing up when you've got a new house alongside another one, and we go through the issues of the sun and the shade and all sorts of different angles, and the representations have all been very well answered, I feel. So I'm quite happy with that. So I've got no further.
Thank you for that. Is there anyone who wishes to speak against the motion? Are there any further speakers for the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Carried unanimously. Planning Authority closed at 6:08. Item 7, matters raised by councillors. 7.1, responses to councillor questions taken on notice from the previous meeting. 7.1.1, Councillor Johnson raised issues around the dog park issues. He asked a question and there is a significant response there from the council officer. 7.1.2, Councillor Hyland, he asked a question on driveway crossovers with another significant response from the council officer. 7.1.3, Councillor Hyland, permits on building sites, another question from Councillor Hyland with an officer's response. 7.1.4, Councillor Hyland, community signage on poles in the main street, with an officer's response. And also the final one is 7.1.5, Councillor Bramage, regarding the dog park, with an officer's response. We cannot debate any of these responses. However, I do suggest that you make sure you read through those responses, and if you need to ask any further questions, please do so. Moving on, I did think that was the last question, but 7.1.6, Councillor Courtney, closed meeting procedures. 7.1.7, Councillor Johnson, rocks on Bass Highway at Doctors Rocks. There is a spelling error there, it should be ROCKS. 7.2, councillor questions received in writing, none have been received. 7.3, councillor questions without notice. Are there any questions this evening? Councillor Courtney.
Through you, Madam Mayor, to Director of Engineering. Can we have a conversation with the state growth again about the potholes on Bass Highway, going from the back of Wynyard here through to Somerset? There's at least, I reckon, 3 that are a good depth that you feel your whole wheel go in, and there was a muffler on the highway the other day, so I suggest that somebody comes and has a look at them.
Free, yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Can I ask a second question?
You right with that, Mr Summers?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, councillor Courtney.
Is there any chance of us bringing the living income back to a workshop for debate? I note that the layoffs from AI have started in a number of countries, so I think it's probably a good time to revisit the idea of being a pilot site. Is there any chance we could bring that back for a workshop?
Sure.
Yep, through you,
Okay.
yeah. Thank you.
Right, so that would be brought back to a workshop. Okay. Thank
Can I
you.
just note there that the community-based income has had some incredible steps.
Sorry, this is questions
Oh,
at the
right,
moment.
sorry, yep.
Any further questions from the councillors?
Oh, yes, I've got 2. Maybe,
Councillor Raw, what's your first question?
well, I'll put in a third question there, just after Councillor Courtney's question. If that comes back to a workshop, that the community-based income has time to come and share where they've got to, because they've moved significantly on that with...
Is this your question? I need a
Yes.
question.
Yes. Can the community-based income be consulted on in that question as well, because they have moved incredibly federal and state-wise on moving that forward. So that would need to be considered.
First question. Okay.
Yeah, the second question is to Mr Summers, through you, Mayor. A traffic mirror, I've had somebody talk to me about a traffic mirror to help with being sighted on a particular intersection, and there have been some lines painted there. I was just wondering whether Mr Summers knew how much it would cost to put up a traffic mirror, and who actually does that? Is it the council or is it state government that does that?
Through you, Mayor, look, probably goes without saying, depending on which road we're talking about, it'll default to the road authority, so local roads, council, state roads, state. Mirrors themselves, certainly in the past, DSG have probably recommended they're not the first choice of traffic management device,
Right.
primarily because they rely upon being reflective for one, that they lose that over time. They haven't made them their first choice of device, although we do have some around the network where there are no other devices. And the other part of the question was in relation to cost, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Look, without looking at current costs, it would be more than a sign, but not significantly more. Perhaps up to $1,000 to purchase and install, perhaps slightly more.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
A third question.
And the third question is, look, I wholeheartedly support public art, and it's great to see it going up in places like on the toilet at East Wynyard there, and they're beautiful pieces of art. But I was just wondering, and I can't ask...
If you could just pose your question
Yeah.
and we'll get it answered for you.
Deterioration of public art. So say in 10 years' time, when there will be deterioration because of sun and wind and rain, does the community have a plan for how that progresses? Is it just painted over and we start again, or whose responsibility is it on deterioration of those things? How is it managed? Yes.
We can research.
So through you, Mayor, I'm just having a quick look at the public art policy, which, hang on, page doesn't really. Sorry, just seeing if there's a quick answer for you. Otherwise, I will get an answer out of session. The commissioning process. Off, fix liability. removal, relocation and de-accessing. An estimated lifespan of the work will be determined at point of contract. We may remove, relocate or de-accession when the environmental context of the work has changed significantly, the cultural significance has changed, or environmental or vandalism occurs. We remove when the work is damaged to the point of non-repair or such that a repair is of greater value than the perceived or real cost of the work. So for something like a mural on an asset, we would probably look to understand whether it could actually be, redone. And if not, then probably it would be painted over, but we might well commission something new on top of it. Yeah.
The council picks up the cost for that. Yep. Okay, thank you.
Are there any further? Councillor Courtney?
I forgot that I haven't followed up on the community conversations.
Through you, Mayor. Thank you. The community conversations are in the process of being booked. So we're starting in February and probably running one a month through to August. The venues haven't quite been nailed down yet, and the plan is to notify you all once those venues are locked down. So something like the 9th of February and then moving through to August. So Yola, Sisters Beach, Boat Harbour, Waratah, Somerset, Wynyard. Yeah.
Follow up through you, Madam Mayor. Could we put that out publicly in the papers, on Facebook?
Yeah.
Because I've got people contacting me already that are willing to run for council next year, that are asking questions about becoming councillors. So I think it's good if we put that out, that people can then come along and talk to us, because there's some of us that are not going to run again. I think it would be a good opportunity for members of the community, not just to hear what's going on in those specific suburbs, but to give people the opportunity to come forward and say, hey, they want to put their hand up, come and have a talk to us. So if we could do some advertising around that, that would be fantastic.
Sure. Through you, Madam Mayor, we do intend to run a comprehensive campaign that will use these community conversations for two purposes. One is to go out to the community. These are your aspirations for your area as we understand them.
And show what we're doing.
And that will inform a refresh of the corporate strategic plan. The second purpose is very much that to informally have a chat about what it means to stand for council.
That's fantastic.
What you'll be letting yourself in.
That's fantastic. That's excellent. I love the response. Thank you.
Great. All right, any further councillor questions without notice, please? If not, I'll move on to item 8, notices of motion. We have not received any this evening. Item 9, reports of officers and committees. 9.1, the recommendation before you, councillors, is that you note the Wynyard Tulip Festival 2025 report. Could I have a mover? Councillor Roberts has moved, Councillor Raw has seconded. Councillor Roberts, do you wish to discuss this item at all?
Just like every year that everyone said they loved the Tulip Festival, and the fireworks this year were the best they've ever been. So there you go. So
Yes.
I'd just like to say quickly, thank you very much to all the volunteers. It was a wet, miserable day, so everybody that volunteered for the Tulip Festival, I know the public listen to these meetings, so thank you to everybody that volunteered and everybody that came along to the festival. I would love next year if we had a few less politicians on stage and a few more sponsors, because I think that we really need to sort of, in that event, thank our sponsors for what they put in to help make that festival what it is. So awesome job again. Our staff do a fantastic job, our volunteers do a fantastic job, but maybe a little more recognition of our sponsors and a little less of the politicians. Just observation.
We shall take that on board, thank you for that. And I will say that while you did say it was a wet, miserable day, I thought it was a happy event because even the adults were playing in the water. They were puddling, and those people in their Crocs, they thought that was pretty good to have a good puddle. So adults enjoy behaving like little kids as well. So it was a good day despite the weather and the lower numbers. Yes, Councillor Bramage.
Yeah, look, credit to everybody. Terrible week leading up to the Tulip Festival, but I think a job well done. And talking about people playing in the water, I see our Deputy Mayor had yellow gumboots on, kicking the water around a fair bit, so I thought I'd just throw that in as soon as he's not here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bramage. I'm sure that will be noted for her to hear that.
Listening now.
Okay. Are there any, yes, Councillor Rule?
Yeah, I'd just like to say that it was great to see the out-of-state attendance moved from 6% to 9%. So it's great that people are coming to Tasmania to see our Tulip Festival. And just I know we can't predict the weather, or we can predict the weather, but we can't make it change or anything like that. And I'm wondering whether, if the prediction is for high rain, particularly after the rain that we'd had, like the ground was saturated, whether there could be a backup plan of sawdust or gravel to help on those places that got really mucky, and having that as a standby if it looks like weather is going to be difficult for us.
I won't be able to answer that, but I'll pass over to Mr Summers. Would you like to take that one on notice? Or?
For you, Mayor, probably one I'll take on notice on behalf of the Director of Community Engagement, who isn't here tonight.
Okay, thank you for that. Are there any further questions regarding the very successful Wynyard Tulip Festival 2025? There being no further questions or comments, I put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Carried unanimously. 9.2, Spring Loaded 2025. There is a recommendation before you, councillors. The council notes the 2025 Spring Loaded report. Could I have a mover for that motion, please? Councillor Courtney moved. Could I have a seconder? Councillor Roberts has moved. Seconded. Councillor Courtney, would you like to?
I think this is one of the good things that came out of COVID, that we extended the Tulip Festival to the Spring Loaded program, and it's out over a month. So I think it's one of the better things that came out of it. We do it really well, and this year we were so good, it enticed me out of my house. I actually went to an event this year, which is a big thing for me. I'm a bit of a shut-in. So around at the golf club, I even danced with Tammy Terrell. So well done to the Spring Loaded program. I actually got out of my house for a change, but it's great that it goes over a month, and I think it's something that we we've done really well out of COVID, and that I'm glad that we're doing it moving forward.
Thank you for that, and well done for.
I thought I was a fantastic dancer because I'd been drinking.
No talking between councillors, if I need to remind you. Well done for enjoying the night out at the golf club. Any further comments on Spring Loaded, please? Councillor Raw, were you?
No, you're right. Please, Councillor Raw. Please.
Sorry, I didn't see you.
No,
Councillor
please,
Raw.
Councillor.
Councillor Raw.
Look, I'd like to agree too with Councillor Courtney that it's a fantastic way of spreading the work around our celebratory time in Wynyard, in that it brings all these organisations on board to provide events, and they actually do a lot of work, and it gives people the opportunity to not just to come to the Tulip Festival, but to spread it out to lots of different activities. And two events that I was involved with, the Saro Sand Art and Rocks activity started, which was great to have. And it was incredible to see the engagement of young kids with rocks and what the geology is around Wynyard, because you'd think that would be probably quite a boring concept to talk to kids about, but they were fantastic, in with their magnifying glasses looking at the rocks, and it was a great event that we could put on in that time, which was good. And the other event I was involved with was a musical event, and we ended up with 70 to 80 participants at that event, which was, remarkable with that many people coming, 50 performers. But the good thing about that was everybody gave a donation when we came in the door, and it raised $522 that was donated to homelessness, and through that we actually donated it to the Small Houses Workshop. and Live Well Tasmania are going to try and target some homeless people that might want to be in that workshop through that donation. So it is a good time to spread types of activities that are offered and, you know, have so many things available to our community for that time.
Yeah. Thank you for that insight into some of the activities that were undertaken during that time. Councillor Roberts.
Look, I just want to say, since the Spring Loaded program was reimagined in 2020 and then coinciding with the Tulip Festival since 22, to see how successful it is in really just 3 to 5 years shows the potential and capacity that's really there in our region. The potential for tourism, whether it's in Waratah or it's in Wynyard or Somerset or anywhere. Boat Harbour Beach, one of the most beautiful beaches you ever see in the world. And so to have the groups involved with the council and working side by side in an attempt to deliver programs across the whole community, across such a large space of time, 30 days, and to be able to do this after really just several years of planning and strategy really does show that I believe truly in the future that Spring Loaded will become just as an important part of the community fabric as the Tulip Festival is itself. So I just want to commend all the staff and all the community groups that are involved in that. It shows in our community that we really do just get things done. So
Thank you for that. And I will say that there is no other festivity along the Waratah Coast area that's as significant as this one. So we really do punch well and truly above our weight in endeavouring to make spring as a good start to our Spring Loaded, to make it a good start for spring. But there you go. It's I do thank everyone as well, all of the councillors and staff for their input into this. So I'm going to put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. 9.3, the Elmer Fagan Hall, Waratah. There is a recommendation before you, councillors. 2 parts to that recommendation. Number 1 is that council initiates a public expression of interest process for an interested party to take on the Elmer Fagan Hall in Waratah, and number 2 is to resolve that the process and any asset transfer are to be conducted in compliance with section 178 of the Local Government Act. Could I have a mover for that motion? Councillor Courtney moved. Could I have a seconder, please? Councillor Hyland. Councillor Courtney, would you like to open the debate, please?
Look, I'm not going to debate it. This cost us a fair bit as asset management, so we're not taking the opportunity from anybody that's using it now to use it in the future. This is not we're going to sell the property. This is an expression of interest, and I want the public to understand that we're just looking for somebody that might manage the hall, that might make an income, might even bring in new business to be conducted in the hall, greater use of it, so that the rest of the residents of the municipality aren't subsidising the maintenance of an asset that we're not fully utilising because we don't have the capacity to do that, and that if somebody else could come in and do that for us, that there's no loss to that community. And I think that is really important that gets across nice and clear.
Thank you, Councillor Courtney. Are there any further speakers? Is there anyone who wishes to, before I allow you to speak, Councillor Hyland, anyone wish to speak against the motion? Councillor Hyland, do you wish to?
Thanks, Madam Chair. Yeah, look, I'm all for this, no doubt about that. But I was just, after all the discussion we had at the last council meeting, I was just a little bit disappointed that it was, well, to me it seemed somewhat rushed, if you like. There was some emails went to the men's shed inviting them to the council for a meeting. And the only reason I found out, because there was one guy that came and he rang me on the way down to tell me he was coming. And I wasn't aware that sort of, I don't know whether he had the right information, but he said he had an invitation to come, yeah.
So, through you, Mayor, if I
Yes,
may,
you may.
it's my understanding that he was responding to the letter that went out.
Ah, right. Oh,
He
you
was
just
not,
said,
there was no separate
No.
invitation, and
Yeah.
he rang up and arranged to come in and have a chat.
Right. Yep, no worries. But anyway, because we'd spent time stressing that there were two groups that probably we should try and pull together. And there is possibly a third. I don't know how that'll end up, but it's bringing more groups together so they can work together and hopefully be fairly successful. And that's what the outcome is for one.
Okay.
No worries, that's all.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Are there any further speakers around the public expression of interest for Elmer Fagan Hall? Yes, councillor.
Just being completely transparent, I ran into several Waratah residents in Burnie and Somerset and had a quick conversation with them. They brought it up with me, and much like Councillor Courtney has stated and Councillor Holland as well, I did explain to them that the expression of interest is to basically see if who would be interested in utilising this space to the best of its capacity. And, you know, obviously if people actually, you know, when we look at the requirements on that expression of interest, it is for community use only, and it is to protect the asset in the future and to best utilise it as well as a community asset. So, as Councillor Holland stated, and as Councillor Courtney stated, that we'd hope that some community-minded individuals down there work together to utilise that asset and perhaps take over and assume ownership and management of it. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And in the background notes, it says a public and transparent expression of interest process enable council to explore what opportunities may exist in this regard, and the stated criteria for evaluation of submissions in council's EOI will be to continue existing community use of this facility, to safeguard the future of the facility as a valued community asset and best offer including price, and any decision to proceed or not is subject to council decision making following the expression of interest process. So we need to remember that we've tied it up very neatly under those criteria. If there are no further speakers, I'm going to put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Carried unanimously. 9.4, the quarterly report, infrastructure and development services. Recommendation is that council notes the quarterly information report for the infrastructure and development services department as of the 31st of October 2025. Could I have a mover for that motion, please?
So moved.
Councillor Courtney has moved. Could I have a seconder, please? Councillor Raw. Councillor Courtney, do you wish to speak
No, just
to
noting that report.
Thank you. Is there anyone who wishes to speak against this motion, this recommendation?
Well, I've just got a question. I'm not going to speak against it.
No, that's fine. You want to make...
On page 74, we got a resheet program there for the Emma Fagan Hall at Waratah. It's only a question. I don't know whether
Can you put the question for us then?
that we defer that to see what happens with the hall. I don't know. I'd be happy to take the
You
engineer's
put that-
direction on that.
Put that question to the engineer.
Yeah, through you, Mayor, look, we can put that on hold, pending that process. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. That's noted. Any further speakers? Councillor Raw.
I'd just, I'd just like to, ask two questions. The first one is moving to FOGO, which I totally agree with and feel we can support our community as much as we can to get that really embedded. With the tons of waste to landfill, when we were actually doing a lot of the work around putting FOGO in, one of the things we were saying was that it will reduce the tonnes to landfill by about 50%. And at the minute, just by looking at those, it might be a quarter now. Is there a plan of, I don't know, how we can hurry that along or how we can engage with people to make sure that we get to that 50%? Or is that just through working with Dolverton and they do all the advertising and re-instigating things? Yeah.
I'll ask our engineer if you would please.
Thanks through you, Mayor. Look, alongside FOGO, there is the Cradle Coast Waste Management Group that is convened by Dolverton. Education campaigns towards FOGO, better material separation, the like, fit within that group's remit, so absolutely. I guess the tonnage we see in FOGO fits within the spectrum of projection that we thought, but there is room to have more material separated, so, yeah.
Is it possible then, if it's the Cradle Coast Waste Management Group, to ask them around what strategies they'd see that might improve that or make it move quicker to the around 50%, or?
Yeah, get through there. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a good one for that group. They typically take advice from other firms like Mike Ritchie and Associates that specialise in these sorts of programs around the country. So I suspect any lessons learned in other areas are able to be picked up and applied here. So.
And so how do we get that to,
Hang on, another question?
so how do we get that to the Cradle Coast Waste Management Group? Somebody and you would take that, Mr Summers, to the group? Okay.
Thank you for that. If Councillor Orr, if you just indicate you're going to ask another question, because this sounds rather like a conversation between you and the engineer. So we just need to formalise it, is all I'm pointing out. Did you have another question?
I did. I was just interested on page 89, extension of contracts to Mr Summers. Is that a lot, or is that normal to have extensions to so many contracts, and are there reasons why people at the minute are having to extend contracts, or it's just one thing that's happening and we put up with it? Or
look, through you, Mayor, one of them at least, which is the Port Road drainage, is I'd use the words drag significantly in getting appropriate Crown approvals. That's the reason for extension of that one, but it's not. It's not unusual to see contracts be extended. Another, for example, Athenam Hall there, that required a change to approach for the windows. They're now being manufactured off-site rather than repaired in situ. There are Heritage TAS approvals associated with that, so each of them have reasons associated like that. So.
Thank you for that. Any more questions? Councillor Hyland.
Could I just question Councillor Brummage's question in regard to the reseal? Obviously something will be done one way or another with the Ormophogan Hall, and we've got half a dozen of those jobs in Waratah. Just if we put it off and then we've got to take a truck back just to do one small job, just mindful of that.
For sure.
We've got the trucks in town.
Yeah, for you, Mayor. Look, what's listed there as being completed is the prep works for a reseal. The reseal program, including the car parks, by a contractor, I think is scheduled for late February, early March.
Yeah.
If it gets to a point where the two processes don't align, I think it's sensible just to go ahead with the works rather than put it in jeopardy.
Yeah.
So,
Right, that's all. Yep.
Okay, thank you for that. Are there any further questions, please, regarding this report? If there are no further questions or comments, I'm going to put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Carried unanimously. 9.5 East Wynyard Foreshore Master Plan Annual Update. The recommendation before you, councillors, is that council notes the annual status update on the progress of the East Wynyard Foreshore Master Plan. Could I have a mover, please? Councillor Roberts has moved. Could I have a seconder, please? Councillor Hyland. Councillor Roberts, do you wish to speak to this motion?
I would just say that everything that's happening looks magnificent, really. It really does liven the place up, and it's colourful and it's artistic, and even the way it's been, it fits into the landscape. So very well designed and thought out as well. So in conjunction with the coastal pathway and everything, is perfect. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Any further speakers to this motion? Councillor Raw.
I'd just like to say that I think that piece of concrete on the pathway behind the playground near the Rotary rotundas, or whatever you call them, is probably the best piece of use of concrete in Wynyard, because before you had to ride past the toilets, there were always children coming from the toilets to the playground, and you always were worried that you were either going to run over someone or be knocked off yourself. So most incredibly useful piece of pathway to bike riders.
Well, thank you for that. I'm sure we're very pleased to accommodate the needs of all members of our community.
And make things safer.
Thank you for that. Are there any further comments on the East Wynyard Foreshore Master Plan Annual Update, please? If not, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Carried unanimously. 9.6, the Wynyard Sporting Precinct 2025 to 2026 update. Could I have a mover for this motion, please? Councillor Hyland? Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Roberts. Councillor Hyland, would you like to open the debate?
Yeah, I would. No, look, it's obviously chuffing along, and I think we've already had one discussion in regard to this change of the system. I'm just still not real comfortable with the way we're going with it, because and particularly with the way the grant climate's going to be, I think in the next 12 months, 2 years, or maybe longer. We've gone from 1.2 to about 3.5. I'm just wondering if we're sort of going to push ourselves out of the market for a year or two, when in the original plan, and I don't know, people keep telling me I'm losing my mind, but forgetting things, but I thought it was always for the sporting clubs for the use over the winter in the wet weather. It was an indoor training centre, no more. But what we've ended up with now was a request for another basketball stadium as well. And I'm still sticking to the statement I made prior to, that it looks like we'll end up with a full-blown indoor cricket competition for the winter. That mightn't be such a bad thing, but it's just locking out the other small, and cricket, they don't play cricket in the winter. So, and I'm just at the understanding that was for the football, where they had extra room to go, to ease all the pressure on the grounds for the Saturday comps. I could be wrong, but I just wouldn't like to see us push ourselves out of that window for a grant, just to progress that part of the sporting precinct, that's all.
Thank you for those comments.
Yeah.
Are there any comments from you, Mr. Summers, or our CEO?
Through you, Mayor, not particularly. Look, I think the centre, when the plan was put together, was based upon some existing ones, Sheffield being one, probably through design development, more contemporary standards, inclusion of chain rooms and those sorts of things have definitely pushed the scope of that proposal out, and including the cost. So.
Okay, thank you for that. Are there any further speakers to this motion? Councillor Roberts.
I was actually I've got it up here, and I was going to mention that as well. I'm actually on the committee for the sports precinct, and again, that indoor facility, it's actually because of the multi-use purpose of it, the design as well, the floor's been changed, fitting it in, the size of it's been changed, etc. And as the Director of Infrastructure's just explained, it's the fact that when those facilities were built, that what they were based on was a good many years ago now, and the cost of materials, etc., has massively increased. And so I've been in the meetings while those different sports groups talk to the architect, and the architect has done an incredible job as well, trying to accommodate everyone and their requests. And it's, each club would have their own opinion on it, but I think that it does look pretty good, and it does involve most clubs. So, thank you.
Thank you for that. I think what the clubs need to remember, they are our facilities for their use, but they are our facilities. Are there any further comments regarding this motion? If not, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Carried unanimously. 9.7, Tri-Skills 2025. Could I have a mover for that motion?
Moved.
Sorry, was that you, Councillor Courtney? Could I have a seconder, please? Councillor Roberts. Councillor Courtney, do you wish to speak to this motion, please?
I just think the diversity in this program is fantastic. Like, it's a great idea, great program. I love that our community does this, but the diversity of the events that we're hosting, I think that's great, because not every kid is meant to be cricket and football. So I just think that's awesome. When we look at the diversity in that report of what's being offered, that's fantastic.
Thank you for that. Councillor Raw.
I'd like to agree with Councillor Courtney that it's great to see the arts are coming in there with Domore and the music workshop and the cheerleading. It's fantastic to see the broad spread. Yeah, I think it's great. I did have a question though to you, Mayor. How do you get involved as a provider? Because I probably know some people that would come on board with that, particularly around the arts. So I don't know who.
Through you, Mayor, that would be contact with the community activation team.
Okay, Councillor Roberts.
Look, just following up on from what Councillor Courtney said, there's actually volunteers from 15 different community and sporting groups that, you know, and not just one volunteer from each, but they'd sent contingencies of volunteers for this program. You know, when you look at these things in isolation, they're a success in their own right. But when you look at the community activation team's work with Tulip Festival, Glow and Gather, and then you look at the Bloom and Tulips program over the course of a month, and then you look at the Tri-Skills program, which has been around many years and just continues to reinvent itself. It's a concept that never goes stale, and well, just I know the whole community activation team does their bit, but I really huge credit to Steph Hansen, who works in recreation for council, who pretty much does a lot of that work, and she does an incredible job bringing all those groups together. And I just really want to credit the whole department for the work they're doing out there in the community. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Are there any further comments regarding the Tri-Skills 2025? If not, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Carried unanimously. 9.8, Brand and Signage Policy and Associated Strategy and Design Guide. There is a recommendation that Council adopts the reviewed brand and signage policy as presented and notes the amendments to the existing signage strategy and design guide. So could I have a mover, please? Councillor Roberts, could I have a seconder, please?
Yep.
Councillor Courtney. Councillor Roberts, do you wish to speak to this?
Oh, look, just that it's been up for revision because it was last done in September 21 and approved, and yeah, there's just been one update to do with position titles, so everything just sort of rolls on as per usual. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Any further comments? Yes, Councillor
Yeah, look,
Ramage.
I'll support the motion, but I certainly hope it comes back to council if there's going to be a logo change or a design change or anything like that, that we get some input
Second that.
on that. Yeah,
Not a motion.
thank you.
Councillor Courtney.
Major changes would certainly come back to council.
Thank you, Councillor Ramage. You're quite right. We do need to be right on top of that. Councillor Rule.
I'd just like to bring everyone's attention to that in that policy, the stand on electronic signage is in there, and with 5 or 6 dot points around the council's view on electronic signage, or the policy view on electronic signage, and we bring that up every now and again around the possibilities of having that. So the answers around why that's not a front runner is in that policy.
Okay, thank you. Are there any further comments? Yes,
Question if I may.
May I ask a question directed to?
I guess I'll direct it to the general manager or the CEO, if I may. I'm just wondering whether staff could have a conversation, including you, that we could put an item in the budget somewhere that we go around every now and again and wash the signs. I don't think it's ever been done. Some of them look shabby, and I think if we can wash them yearly, it'll make them last longer. Especially the money we spend on them big signs before you get to Waratah with the waterfalls, you know, like just give it a little wash and maybe a polish. I don't know. So I guess you will work that out. Thank you.
Thank you.
You volunteering, Gary?
Oh, I'll have a crack at it. You're not allowed to get up at a ladder over 50.
Apologies for butting in.
I'm going to reprimand you both. Please do not talk across the room and no interjections.
Yeah,
Not
your fault, Kevin.
Not allowed, Councillor Bramage. Now, Councillor Roberts, did you have something?
Would you like me to close?
Yes, I'd very much like to close.
Look, just for the public, just as a part of, to follow on from Councillor Bramach's question there, that we ourselves have tirelessly discussed in workshops about the roundabouts and the side of the road and the signage and how dirty the signs can get. It's something, also the slashing to the fence, etc. You know, we've had endless discussions with finance and also the Director of Infrastructure about how best to move around the budget allocations to allow for these things to happen. And so some of these things might, you know, with the amount of assets that council manages, that some of these things might look a bit shabby at times, as Councillor Bramach has stated, and that we do discuss them behind the scenes, and that we wholeheartedly support questions like that from Councillor Bramach, and we do care, and I do credit that with Councillor Bramach as well and Councillor Hyland as well, their experience over the years with the work side of things as well, and those discussions about the road verges and the roundabouts and the signs and the weeds and everything are just incredibly important to our beautiful region. So just say that we wholeheartedly support that as well. So
Thank you, Councillor Roberts. Yes, we love our place. If there are no further comments or questions, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Carried unanimously. 9.9. Local Government Association of Tasmania General Meeting motions. The recommendation is that Council authorises the Mayor or her representative to discuss and vote on the items listed for the Local Government Association of Tasmania Legat General Meeting agenda on 20 November 2025 in line with Council's position as detailed in Table 1 of this report. Could I have a mover for this motion, please? Councillor Roberts. Could I have a seconder, please?
Seconded.
Councillor Courtney. Councillor Roberts, do you wish to speak to this motion?
just not so much, just that we are supporting a motion that Councillor Courtney put forward for whistleblowers, and I find that is incredibly important, and come what may, I think it goes to show that this council does think about not only our own staff or not only our own constituents, if you may say. I just find that it's just, again, for Tasmania, and that we do have councillors on this council that really do think about the social welfare of others, as you have witnessed with the involvement of many of our councillors in welfare programs, social programs, etc. So credit to it, and this is pretty, you'll have the job, Mayor, so best of luck to our Mayor with presenting these to
Thank you, Councillor Roberts. I'm not sure that I need luck, but there you go. It's not onerous, but I need to be kept on my toes. Apparently, the CEO will be keeping me awake all day. Thank you. Are there any further speakers? Yes, Councillor Courtney.
I'm just going to take a moment to thank the councillors that supported the motion. As many of you know, it's been a long journey for me around changes to whistleblower legislation. It is a 20-year-old legislation that's not fit for purpose, and I really appreciate the support that I've been shown around the table on this, and I hope that local government get on board, because this isn't just about our community. This is about making sure that the money that's supposed to come to our community comes to our community through good governance. So protecting whistleblowers ensures good governance, and I really appreciate the support, and I'm very, very grateful for the opportunity to present, because this is so important to me. So thank you very much to the fellow councillors that supported the motion, and thank you very much, Madam Mayor, for giving me the opportunity and understanding how important it is to me.
Thank you. Thank you for your kind words. Are there any further speakers regarding the Legat motions and my role in moving things along, I think?
And just in close, I'll just say that some of us councillors are going to the Local Government Association of Tasmania conference this week, Thursday and Friday, and just that it's opportunities like this to present these things and things that are important to people in our community, and things that are important to our councillors and our council, and things that are important to our staff, to local government themselves in Tasmania. So also a great opportunity for us to learn while we're down there. There's some brilliant speakers down there, and local government is heading more into a developmental sphere, and it's a great opportunity to talk to many speakers, including people such as the former Lord Mayor of Adelaide and So, yeah, it's a great opportunity. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Councillor Raw.
Yes, I'd just like to make a point that as motions are put to council, if there are people that don't agree with the motion, if they lose the motion, that actually at the end of the motion, when it's passed, we all agree with it. And that's what we decide to do. We're all on board for a motion that we may not have voted for. And that's how council works when something doesn't go your way. So I must say that if there are people that didn't vote for it, they are on board because they're good councillors.
Is that a question or?
Yeah, it's not a question, it's actually a statement. And I'm not sure of its relevance in terms of what we are doing.
Sorry, councillor Roberts had closed, so there
Yes, he
shouldn't be.
closed, he'd actually closed, so
But,
There's no buts.
but the points.
Point of order.
No buts.
Point of order.
sorry.
Have shade at me. If you want to throw shade
Point
at
of
me,
order. Just
do
everyone
it outside.
All right, all of you, please. Point of order, you are not to speak out of turn, anyone, or interject. Once the motion has been closed with the final words, there is no speaking after that. And that's, yes,
Councillor
okay,
Roberts
so
replied.
that's, the other point, Leanne, Councillor Raw, is that I'm not sure that it was relevant to what the motion was about. We understand your sentiments, but it's not actually relevant to the motion. So if we can please move on, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Carried unanimously. 9.10, award of contract 838 D&C Anzac Park Shade Structures and Stage Development. Recommendation that council awards the contract 838 design and construct Anzac Park Playground Shade Sales and Stage Development to Active Areas. Could I have a mover? Councillor Courtney.
Seconded. Oh.
Sorry, who seconded that? Councillor Roberts. Councillor Courtney, do you wish to open the discussion?
No debate. I've read through all the documents. I have implicit confidence in the manager of engineering. Happy with the decision.
Okay, any further speakers?
I just real quickly want to note the action of this council. In local government sphere, you could argue whether justified or not. Sometimes things do take a while to happen. But one thing I noticed of our tour of the Anzac facility, which is an incredible park and playground, was that not only our councillors but some members of the public had previously talked about the amount of shade areas there and the equipment themselves. Now, if people ever question whether this council cares about our, the people that live, the citizens in our region, that $463,000 in response to the public's questions and the need that we see for shade down there and the importance of making sure that play equipment doesn't burn anyone as well, just if it gets a bit too hot. So we do listen to the public and sometimes, these things it goes to show with these sales that they're very expensive projects as well. We just continue to deliver, and I understand why people can ask questions about how we're going to deliver all these things, and yet this council time and time again just continues to deliver. So I'm very, very proud that we've managed to achieve this for our public, and it's going to look great down there as well.
Thank you for that. Any further speakers to this motion? Thank you, Councillor Bromwich.
Thank you, Mayor. I guess simple, more shade will be good.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Thank you for that comment. It's well worth listening to. Councillor Hyland.
Did we have a chat to the fairy godmothers as well?
Yes, we have had discussions with fairy godmothers, but Mr. Summers would probably be able to fill you in better than I.
And through you, Mayor, you might note in the consultation section of the report too that there is a final step with the fairy godmothers to confirm the final design, subject to the tender being awarded. Yep.
Okay, thank you for that. Any further speakers for this motion, please? If not, I put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Carried unanimously. 9/11 financial report for the period ended the 31st of October 2025. The recommendation is that Council notes the financial report for the period ended 31st of October 2025. Could I have a mover, please? Councillor Roberts. Could I have a seconder, please? Councillor Raw. Councillor Roberts, do you wish to open this?
I say it every time I'm here, don't you? That I really appreciate the work that Mr. Smith does over there in finance and the whole team as well. Just the way the finances are managed in this place, it's just incredible. I myself just am amazed by the work that's done here, truly. And that it'll be a long time before we're bankrupt, I reckon. So in local government, that's good news. And so I'm very happy that, you know, in comparison especially to some other councils, the financial position, that we're in a really strong spot, and it's a long time of good work from some good people. And Mr. Smith, long may it continue. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further speakers to this motion? I too thank you, Mr. Smith, for your thorough report. If there are no further speakers, I'm going to put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Carried unanimously. 9.12, it's the Senior Management Report. Recommendation that Council notes the Senior Management Report. Could I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Councillor Courtney has moved. Seconder, Councillor Hyland. Councillor Courtney, did you wish to open any debate around this?
No, I did note that Minister Archer's coming to have a chat about one of the outstanding items, and I look forward to the update.
Okay. Any further?
3.12.
Any further comments on this particular? Yes.
Question, if I may, is
Question.
there? And there's probably none. Is there any updates on? We got an update on Garland coming here, and Vincent. Is there any updates on the other two?
You mean Minister Howlett and Minister Digan?
Yeah. Is there any updates on what they were offering, what they wanted, or they just want a free coffee, or what was the go?
No, it was online. Free coffee.
Yeah, through you, Mayor, it was myself and the Mayor. Both of those meetings were online, and we wrote to all the ministers after they got elected and said,
Yeah.
let's have an introductory chat, and that's really all it was.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Any further questions or comments regarding the Senior Management Report? If not, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Carried unanimously. 9.13, minutes of other bodies and committees. 9.13.1, minutes of other bodies, Sustainability and Environmental Advisory Panel held on the 21st of October 2025. There is a recommendation before you, Council, that you note the unconfirmed minutes of that meeting held on the 21st of October and endorse the recommendations from the meeting. Number one is the Council seek coordination through a regional body such as Legat or Crater Coast Authority to engage a suitably qualified individual to review and summarise the National Climate Risk Assessment Report, providing insights into projected climate risks out to 2050, relevant for local government application, and that Council notes a CAP membership shortfall following a resignation and authorises officers to invite past members or temporarily reduce membership for the remainder of the term. So there are 2 points there that you need to consider in that second request, that you endorse the recommendations of the meeting, and the first part is to note the unconfirmed minutes. Would you like to divide the points? In fact, if I put that note the unconfirmed minutes first, would you be happy to do it that way?
Oh, happy to do it that way.
I'm happy to do it all.
Okay. On reflection and recommendation from the CEO, we'll do it all at once. Okay. So could I have a mover, please?
So moved.
Councillor Courtney.
Seconded.
Councillor Roberts. Councillor Courtney, do you wish to speak to this motion?
Obviously, I'm happy with the recommendations, and I'm hoping that they're supported.
Okay, any further speakers to this motion?
Just that the committee does an amazing job, and if you're environmentally community minded, you have a background in any form of science or zoology or anything, then I would legitimately say that this is your opportunity to contribute to the future of our region, have a say in the environmental actions that we do take, and it's award-winning what we do at this council, and work with some very qualified and intelligent, like-minded individuals that can teach a lot. I'd also love to see younger people really perhaps put themselves, younger people that are environmentally aware, to actually put themselves forward this committee. And the amount of experience and knowledge these people have in this committee is a great opportunity for any young person to learn. So just those are my recommendations, and that's all I'll say. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that. Are there any further speakers to this motion? If not, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Carried unanimously. 9.13.2, Accessibility Working Group, notes of meeting held on the 4th of November 2025. The recommendation before you, councillors, is that council receives the notes of the Accessibility Working Group meeting held on the 4th of November 2025. Could I have a mover for that motion? Councillor Raw. Could I have a seconder, please? Councillor Hyland. Councillor Raw, do you wish to speak to this motion?
Only that the accessibility group has had some vacancies, a couple of vacancies, and we've got new people on board, and the two new people that have come on board are youth, which is really great to see, and they spoke confidently in the group and had a different perspective, which was really great to listen to and hear, the group is moving forward well on its plan. Yep.
Okay, thank you for that. Are there any further speakers to this motion? If not, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Carried unanimously. Item 10, matters proposed for consideration in the closed meeting. The recommendation is that the council resolves by an absolute majority that the matters listed below be considered in the closed meeting. Could I have a mover, please? Councillor Hyland. Could I have a seconder?
Seconded.
Councillor Courtney is seconded. I put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Carried unanimously. Item 11, closure of the meeting to the public. 7:07. The council resolves by an absolute majority that go into closed meeting to consider the following matters. I will put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Carried unanimously.